Hello. We are noticing that our students are having a lot of misconceptions with the minuend and subtrahend when it comes to subtraction word problems. So we just wanted to reach out to the families and parents to sort of give you guys some recommendations on what we can do to hope that these students don't have these misconceptions in the future. So this is a problem that a lot of the students struggled with two snakes figuring out how much longer one snake is than the other. Students tended to get the correct answer and were able to find what numbers they needed to use for the equation, however had trouble with deciding which one is the minuend and which one is the subtrahend. Some students would set up the problem 4 1/5 minus 6 3/5 and still get the correct answer of 2 2/5 without realizing that if you subtract 6 from 4 you would get a negative number. So we want to get these misconceptions dealt with so students don't have these problems in the future. So the way we would solve this problem is we would first read through the problem. 2 colors of snakes are on a tree. You could even draw a visual if that would help see what you're looking for also. So we would know that blue snake is 6 3/5 feet long. And then we also know that the red snake is 4 1/5 feet long. Often students will just assume that the bigger number is what you use as or the smaller number is what you subtract from the bigger number. However, it's not always the case, but with these students we haven't started working with negative numbers yet. So even with these misconceptions, they're still able to get the correct answer and they don't really understand that they're not setting up the problem the correct way. So we would set this up by knowing how much longer the blue snake is than the red snake. This is the blue snake's length, which it states here that it is longer. This is one of our keywords that we would use. Since it's longer, we know that it's going to be at the top and we're going to need to take length away from that. So we would set up our problem with 6 3/5 on top minus 4 1/5, and then the students would be able to do the algebra from here. 6 minus 4 is 2. Also, we want to make sure that they do not subtract these two denominators, but keep it as the 5. Only the numerator is what they need to subtract, so 3 minus 2, or 3 minus 1, which would equal 2 2/5 feet longer. So with that, the students would be able to see that the blue snake, which is 6 3/5, is 2 2/5 feet longer than the red snake, which is 4 1/5. Okay, so what we would recommend for you guys as parents is to sort of do problems like this, go over with them, make these connections with students, sort of help them figure out which numbers go in which based off these keywords in the problems.
Okay, so I would like to suggest one activity that parents and children can do together at home. So your children are going to do a string activity together to understand the concept of deciding minuend and subtrahend. So you guys can prepare one long length of string, like, long enough to cut, and then you guys are gonna measure the length of the string, and then you guys are gonna cut in half or any lengths that you want, like this, and then the children are gonna measure the length of the string that is left, and then you guys are gonna decide the distance between the lengths. So you are gonna ask a question. So what is the length of string that is left over? So that way the children can think about which one is the longer length and then which one is the shorter one. So this way they can keep practicing to decide which one is minuend and which one is subtrahend. And why is this a good step for the next? Implementing this activity is a good step for children who are unsure about the concept of the bigger number subtracting the smaller number in subtraction problems. This activity keeps helping students to practice deciding minuend and subtrahend by themselves with different lengths of string that visually represent bigger number and smaller number, which tells which one should subtract which. Keep repeating this activity will develop students' understanding of subtraction problem.
Great.
Thank you.